Hello everyone, how you doing? Spurs have just lost 2-1 in the 97th minute to Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was 1-0 to Spurs with 6 minutes to go and Wolves scored 2 in the last 6 minutes. I would say it's a sucker punch, but it's been coming all game. They definitely deserve to draw. The win, they probably edged us. If you look at the stats, Brains, possession, we had more possession. It was 58% to 41. They had 17 shots on our goal. We had 6. Wow. They had 4 on target. We had 2. They had 7 block shots. Passing accuracy was roughly the same. They had 3 clear-cut chances. We had 0. Tackles were pretty much the same. Fouls committed, pretty even. But in terms of chances created, clear-cut chances, and total shots, they dominated the stats. In terms of what we saw with the eyes, kind of felt the same, Brains.
Yeah, I thought, like, let's be honest. They could have been. They had clearer chances. We've got a more renowned front line, and we didn't create clear enough chances. Bentancur came on, and there seemed to be a little bit more coming, and then even when Gio came on, there was even a little bit more. So I think both those players, for me, should be starting. You know, Højbjerg, Basuma's out. Højbjerg's got to go. Like, towards the end there, he gave the ball away so many times. I'm not saying this entire game is bad, but these are the dying moments of a game. We get a little free kick, and it looks like we could just play it. He's got Lolo here, he's got Kulu next to him, and he plays it inside to a player who's got a man on him. Lose the ball, and then it's all over. You know what I mean? So he does it again. He's like, he just isn't on it for me. So I think the chances they had, they should have won that easily. Should have won it easily. The fact that we hung in 1-0 for as long as we did was just pretty much lucky. Good defending occasionally from Ben Davies, who deserved. I don't know if you can give a man of the match to a team that's lost, 2-1. But yeah, I just think that it had defeat written all over it before the game. I said we were going to lose 3-0, so I'm quite surprised that we even got a goal. But we got 1 goal after 5 minutes of play at the start. 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes. But then we played well for 5 minutes, and then, I think this Basuma on a yellow and trying to stay away from suspensions closed him down, so he was non-existent the whole game. Non-existent. Like, what did he do the whole game?
Yeah, Brains, I agree. I think for me that was a poor performance by Spurs. I wasn't expecting a good performance because I'm one of the fans for the last 4 years that's been saying stop blaming Mourinho, stop blaming Conte, stop blaming managers. The players aren't good enough. In the summer, we bought some really good players. Madison, Dogi came back from a loan period. Van de Ven, we signed Vicario. These are good players, and it allowed us to play the type of football that Ange plays. Yeah. Once they got injured or suspended, we're now back to the team Conte had, Nuno, and all the stick fans gave them. No, it's the players. I've been saying for years, stop blaming these managers. These managers win everywhere. Ange is a winner everywhere he's been. Conte, everywhere he's been. Mourinho, everywhere he's been. Yeah. They come here and it fails, and it's because when we depend on the squad, not the first 11, we aren't good. The football today was woeful. If you look at it from an individual perspective, Dyer, average. Ben Davies, probably our best player. Porro, average. Emerson, not good today. Højbjerg, below average. Bentancur and Lo Celso came on, and I thought they did something. Brian Hill came on, did nothing.
He's not strong enough.
He's not good enough.
He's not a Prem player.
He's never been good enough. We did an analysis on him on my channel. He's never been good.
No, he's never been good enough.
So you look at the players on the pitch.
Not strong enough for the ball.
But that said, somehow we were 1-0 up. They were missing chance after chance after chance.
Good player who takes his run to the front post. He does what good players do. If he wasn't,
who's this we're talking about?
Brennan Johnson. If he wasn't on the pitch, we don't go one ahead.
That's right.
You know? So you're right. It's the example of like the good. Look, we're building a squad, and I think when those new players who we've brought into the squad, when they're not available, do not expect a single point, because if we go back to players from last season, we know they're dreadful. We're not going to get a single point until all our good players are back. All the new players are back, or until we get to January and we buy more new good players.
Aston Villa can finish. Right, if we play this against Villa, that's a loss. Man City, I'm telling you now, are going to tear us to pieces.
I think the next
we're
two
not
games
we're not
could be
getting
high
anything at the
scores.
Etihad.
I think next two games could be 3 or 4-0 against Villa, loss.
And then we got West Ham at home.
Maybe 5 or 6. I think West Ham beat us 2-3-0. Who's after West Ham?
We just can't play with Ben. We cannot play with Ben Davies and Dyer at the back, and we cannot play with Emerson, a right back at left back. He can't do it. And on top of that, you then put Højbjerg as the defensive mid to protect the two donuts at the back. It's literally, at the start of the stream, I said, if you're going to start Davies and Dyer, do not put Højbjerg in front of them, because that's your defensive pyramid, your triangle in front of them. It's literally vulnerable, vulnerable, vulnerable. And the two players that cost us in the 97th minute were Højbjerg and Dyer.
And
I said this before kickoff.
But even when Basuma,
So
it
frustrating.
looked like they were doing a pivot, because sometimes Basuma was in the 6, and even he didn't look great in the 6. He was making mistakes.
Basuma had an average game at best. Basuma was not good, and he's missing the next game as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably even. I think at some point it's good for him to just get this out of the way. You know, like this suspension coming, get the suspension out of the way, and just then come back and start playing football again, because he has been bad since he's been come back from his red card. It's not been.
Yeah,
it's not
maybe
been
he just
good
needs a
enough.
clean 0 start in the
start
yellows.
again.
See, for me, I'm upset because I'm a Spurs fan and I'm gutted that we lose games. But I've been one of the. I'm not going to go down the Levy out route. This isn't about Levy out. But I've been one of the very vocal fans, and you know, it's like Brains. I get my fair share of abuse for it.
Yeah.
I've been saying for ages, until the owners show ambition to build a squad and stop thinking managers can convert average players into good players. The second string squad, no manager in the world turns them into top level players.
Yeah.
Conte performed a miracle getting top 4, and Arsenal bottling it. Let's be honest, Arsenal choked. And we were still top 4 when Conte got sacked. The football was terrible to watch.
Yeah,
and
'cause it had to be.
he was stubborn, but he got us fourth.
Yeah.
And fans turned on him. Now Ange has lost 2 in a row in very painful circumstances. Do you think it's going to get better from here? No, I don't.
No.
Without Van der Ven as a partnership for Romero, without Maddison for the creativity, and then without decent subs to come on, the positive I take from today is I do think we can do something in midfield with Gio and Bentancur.
Yeah, but I
do think there's something there.
I think I almost go. Do I even really risk Bentancur's
You can't.
fitness?
Suma's injured.
I know. I'd maybe say Donnelly. You know, at this point,
Would you phone a kid in this circumstance?
yes. In this circumstance, it's a.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like the
What
next,
have you got to lose, right? If
the
you're
next
losing
few
every game?
games, we are not going to win them at all. There's no chance in hell. So bring the kids on. I'd probably start Davies. He was decent. Davies, Phillips, or Darrington. Just get some games. Just like the only reason you might not is that look, if it is going to be 5 or 4, it deserves to be Dyer. It deserves to be the players who we know are shit. Don't maybe bring the kids in at the back and let them take the fall, you know. But then maybe they come in and they have a little bit about them, and it's only 2-0 losses. I'd be like, whoa, these kids are amazing. If we hold Villa to only 2-0 with those kids at the back, I'd be like, these kids have actually got something.
It's something to build off on, right?
Yeah. Whereas if we go into what do we gain? You know, it's like you play for a moment. But you also play for the future.
The problem is, I think there's a lot of Spurs fans who believe we can really win with these players the next 4, 5, 6 games.
It's one of the most insane things about fandom. Watching all the pump-ups and the build-ups of all the different channels to this game here today, I was just like, how are we going to win this game? Everyone going, we're going to win this game. This is the one game we'll win. I'm like, how? They beat Man City. They did well against Liverpool. How are they going to
They should have beaten Man United at Old Trafford.
Yeah, how? They got robbed that game, unbelievably.
That's what I mean. They should have beaten them.
How are we in this situation?
With these donuts.
It's madness, the way...
And again, we're expecting the good players to work wonders with the average players and play a technical type of football where first touch, quick progression of the ball, laying it off at the right time, right weight of pass, decision making, all has to be on point for this kind of football to work.
Yeah.
And when you've got the first 11, you're like, they can do it. soon as you make 4 or 5 subs, you're like, we can't do this now. We can't do this. And you saw it in attack. It broke down too many times defensively. I thought playing out from the back today, we actually did quite well.
Sometimes,
I thought playing out from the back today, we did well.
That was our little chance when they pushed
that surprised me.
Past them, you know, which has always been something that we kind of, you know, like that famous breakout against Man City, you know, that like when it breaks down, you play inside, but then we had Kane as the guy inside who could like whip balls over. It was amazing to see Lola come on. Like the moments in the game today, like if you think about if you had like a soundometer, you know, like if you had like a meter, all the would have came from in the first half. Sarr doing something great, you know, Brennan Johnson scoring, Kulu doing lovely little movements, you know, his little flick for the goal, and then in the second half, nothing until Lolo comes on and he does something great, and then Gio like game-saving, what would have been a game-saving tackle, like great things. The great things that happened were those players. Everyone else, dead.
Yeah.
Højbjerg, all you get from Højbjerg when you watch him is, every 5 minutes.
Why Højbjerg? Why?
Like, why? Like 3 or 4 times. Like I remember at the start of the second half, I came in, you were like, Højbjerg's just done a madness, and then it was like throughout the second half, all that, so many times.
We've got a super chat from Eugene Park who says, I remember this feeling being as a Spurs fan, constant disappointment. Well, all I'll say to you is, until our owners decide to build a good squad of 16 to 18 players that are all of a decent level, this will always happen to us. And imagine, Brains, we're not in Europe.
No.
We're not in Europe, and we're at the Carabao Cup. One game a week.
This shouldn't be the biggest problem in the world.
No.
But I think that's why I think you have to look at it. The positive thing of it is like this is happening because we only had 11 good players. So five or six of them are gone now.
And you'd say the key ones as well.
Yeah. The best ones.
Like
Romero,
the ones that were having the best season.
Yeah, Romero, VDV, and Madison.
And Udogie.
And Udogie.
He's our best wing back.
As soon as we lost those in one game, I was like, I genuinely was like, I don't think I can watch this.
Take Vicario out, we're in a relegation battle.
Oh, yeah.
Take Vicario out, we're in a relegation battle.
Yeah. Like, depending on how long this went, like, I don't see us getting a single point until January. And then we lose Bissouma and Son and Sarr.
I think we'll get... No, I disagree there because I feel that Udogie and Romero will be back in 3 games. Udogie's back in 1, Romero's back in 3. That will stabilise it a bit.
So you think we'll win something? You think we'll get points?
Let's go through the fixtures quickly. We've got a super chat here. Thank you so much from Omar. He says, look what happens when teams lose key players to injuries. The entire identity shifted for the squad. Not to be a downer, but I really hope this doesn't string to a losing streak with young fans chanting Ange out. Listen... The only thing you can say out is Levy out, not Ange out.
It's got nothing to do with Ange. He can't do anything. He doesn't have a squad.
He's got a centre-back who's not extending his contract. The club don't want to extend his contract. They want him out. We've got a centre midfielder in Højbjerg that we don't want at the club. We're prepared to sell him, but didn't want to leave. We've got wing-backs that he inherited from the previous manager.
Who were probably never good enough. Emerson, to be honest, he can have an all right game every now and then, but not.
And we've got no options for a defensive substitution that is of an experienced level. We're looking now at under 21 kids that have never played Premier League football. So to put it on Ange, I just think he didn't play a high line today. Everyone said, if he does that, he didn't do that today, right? He did not do that, people. We lost today because of individual failures, and those individuals aren't good enough for Spurs.
Yeah. Only criticism I have, but it's not even a criticism because he's got to make big decisions, was taking Sarr off, because I thought Sarr had something about him. But he brought Gio on. People wanted to see Gil, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd never have. So I think you can't really... He's try to answer as many questions as possible. He's tried to keep the game going. He's tried to go out and play brave football. I think we should all be looking at the game as like, look, oh wow, like in this troubled times, we've tried to play good football. We've tried to dominate the ball. We just don't, without our good players, we don't have the players to do that style. We just simply don't. And then you can't say, oh, well, then Ange should play a different style. No, we don't have the players to do the other styles either. We don't.
We don't. We can't do the low block either.
No.
Just got another super chat here. Sorry, guys, I'm falling behind on the super chats. Kenny Loy says, Don't know how Dyer and Davies are playing this level. We agree, buddy. We said it before the
But
game.
respect where it's due. Davies did have a good game.
Davies was our best defender today.
It's troublesome together with them because Davies. Look, the goal was conceded. Davies had to come across to right centre back.
So he's given away the free kick. Who gave that a free kick away?
Højbjerg. Look, when Højbjerg just stands.
Who's number 18? Lo
stands
Celso
watching.
gave it away.
Højbjerg, is he getting back?
Lo
He's
Celso
standing.
gave away the free kick.
Højbjerg, look, lets his man go.
Half asleep.
That was the guy that Højbjerg. Look, so Højbjerg passed that ball to the guy.
I've got another super chat from Amar who says, I agree with Levy out, but look at United. Those fans are screaming Ten Hag out with their injury list. Fans are crazy this day. Yeah, they are. Fans are fickle.
Yeah.
Super chat from Scorpions for Life. Thank you so much. Poro, man of the match. Kulu, lack of G.
Poro, man of the match in a game that we've lost 2-1.
Needed to be addressed.
Come on.
Scorpions for Life. I don't know about that. You're allowed your opinion though, buddy. You're allowed your opinion. Right, Brains. So these are the fixtures coming up.
All right, hit me.
Villa at home.
3-4-0 loss.
Man City away.
5-6-0 loss.
West Ham at our ground.
2-0 loss.
Newcastle at our ground. 1 or 2-0.
Probably 1 or 2-0 loss, yeah.
Forest away. Romero's back and Udogi's back.
That's the one.
I say we win that. I say we win
If
that
there's
one.
going to be a win, it's that one. But at their
Then
ground,
we've got Everton at our ground. I reckon we can win that.
I think Forest beat us 1-0 at their ground.
No.
Everton,
Okay, I'm going for a win there.
Everton at our ground.
I think we'll beat
If
them.
you didn't beat Everton at our ground, then shocking. I think that if that's is that the 6th game?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6th game, yeah.
Okay, so I said no points in 5. I think we win the Everton, break the thing.
Brighton away after that. Problems.
I mean, if we've got full team back, sure, but we won't.
We won't have a full team back.
So now Brighton that one.
And then we've got Bournemouth at our ground. We'll beat Bournemouth. They're awful.
Hopefully.
They're awful,
Yeah.
Brains. And then we've got a 2-week break. So really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the next 8 games, we're saying really 2 or 3 wins.
I'm saying 1 or 2 max.
Jesus Christ.
I'm saying 2 is hopeful. Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth.
Unless it gives the youngsters a chance in defence and they shine. And he stops playing Højbjerg. Just
At least in the next 3 games. The next 2 games for sure, because I don't think they're winnable at all. Give the kids a go. Give the kids a go. And hope that fans have a tiny minutia of sense in them to understand that their kids are getting a go, because these games are losses anyway.
the thing is, right, some of us predicted we would lose this game because we know what this team's like. We're not deluded to think that the manager can polish a turd, right?
Yeah.
Some of us predicted this.
3-0, I said.
Which is why we're predicting the games coming up, we're in big trouble because we don't have our best team. Anyone who thinks Ange can get a number out of this slot and we're going to play really good football and
You
beat...
don't understand football.
You don't understand football.
Yeah.
We've seen it for 4 years.
You can't... And one of the hardest things is, like...
Poch, in the last 3 months before he got sacked at Spurs, who plays attacking football, he couldn't get a tune out of them.
Yeah. You have to... What you should be doing is looking at that game going... That's actually quite amazing that Spurs have only lost that game too. Well, they should have won the game, right? And that would have been unbelievable, right? It would have been lucky. It would have been unbelievable considering that Dyer's not played all season. He's played 40 minutes. Lolo's come back from an ACL. He's played 40 or something minutes. Gio's not had a kick of the ball all season. You know, like, you've got a lot of players, you know, Johnson's came and started and stopped, injuries on and off. You know, you've got all this, you've got your 4 or 5 best players out. Basuma's on a yellow, can't really play football. All of that is amazing that we got.
Spamming the chat. Sorry.
All of that happening means it is amazing that we went 1-0 up and lasted as long as we did. That game should have been 3 or 4-0.
We lasted so long because Wolves couldn't finish their dinner. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason. And 1 or 2 really good defensive, 3 or 4 good defensive plays by our defenders. They did an all right job at times as well.
Davies impressed me. I mean, sometimes Davies does impress me.
Are we? Do we agree then? We're not blaming Ange for this result.
No,
we can't blame Ange
unless he's God. Unless you know what I mean.
The only thing,
he controls the universe. Do you mean?
Unless he has mystical powers.
Yeah.
The only thing that we question, it's just a question, was the decision to take off Pape Sarr the right one?
That's a tough one. I mean, the commentators even said it was like he's been their best player.
Yeah, and maybe should we have given a youngster a chance? But listen, he sees him in training. He knows what's best, right? So I think with not starting, the problem is, do you know what? I feel sorry for Ange. We know what Dyer and Davies are like because we've got 9 years experience with these
doesn't.
clowns.
Yeah, he's got to see it.
He's trying to give them a chance. He's got to see it.
But he
Perfectly
saw
said.
it. He saw it in pre-season, and they never touched the pitch. And then we're in this situation where they've got to play. And you'd think
We can't handle the injuries. We can't handle the injuries.
They're pros who play national football. Surely you've got to give them a chance over kids who are playing Premier League 2, you know, or like playing under 23s. You've got to give them a chance over them.
Yeah.
You know? And to be honest, like, I just think over a 90-minute period, Dyer might do some decent things somewhere along the line, but he's going to let you down at the end.
The issue is, Brains, the teams we're playing now are the top 10 teams. These aren't the Cadam fodder. These are teams that are challenging for European places.
Yeah.
And very, very quickly, we're going to tumble down this table.
Yeah.
The only hope we've got is we've got to win at least half of the games.
Just keep hoping teams lose fixtures and
Yeah.
so we hang on as much as possible. But 1 in 5 maybe, but I think all 5.
Look, you always want to try and put a positive spin on things, but for me, that performance was rubbish.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough.
The positive spin was Gio looked decent and Lolo looked brilliant. And like Lolo, and that's not Lolo looking 100% him. I thought he was 70% himself. And that was still better than anyone else. You know, he wouldn't have been Madison.
I just felt when we did attack, we didn't attack in numbers. But once Benton, Cork, and then Lo Celso was on, we did attack more in numbers. But still, we didn't get any shots away.
But the problem was,
other than that Lo Celso one where the goalie made a good save.
But the problem is Son actually had a couple of chances that were really good. Johnson had that chance, but it was put slightly behind him. Kulu should have put that ball across. That was one of the biggest moments of the game, and he didn't.
You're right. When we had 4 at the back,
we had these like 3 or 4 big chances that we didn't even trouble keeper that much.
The problem is, it's kind of like the Chelsea game where we had 4 big chances, but Chelsea had 10 in the same period of time.
Yeah.
So we had 2 or 3 really good chances,
but they should have buried theirs.
But they had 6 or 7. So it's like
Vicario saved us in the first half.
Listen,
Hines missed an absolute setter.
If we got a draw, we would have said, "Do you know what? Fair enough."
I would have bit your hand off for a draw. Yeah,
we would have said, "Fair enough." Losing it is the last kick of the ball is a killer. But when you look at the stats, a loss makes sense. So, but it just hurts because you'd rather just lose in that 60th minute knowing what's coming rather than you've held on for so long. And in literally in what we did to Sheffield United, they've just done to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They made their subs, they come on and they changed the game.
You can't walk away from that game being too disheartened because you have to know what the situation is. You have to know what we're in. You know?
Yeah, respect the average players on the pitch. They are what they are. They're not good enough to put in a performance against regardless of Wolves' position in the league, we spoke earlier, they've been good.
You do it like this.
Wolves have been good this season.
They've
got a good manager.
How many of our players played below their potential, and how many of our players played above their potential?
Well, let's go for it. Vicario
is brilliant, so he plays to his potential.
I think he could have done better for the first goal, though. To get beat on the near post, I think he could have done better.
What's that first one?
The volley.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a fucking... I just don't think he's...
The thing is, he dived the right way. Okay, all right, fair enough. Vicario had a good game, all right. Porro,
Porro, I think, is playing... He had a good game. I say he's on potential.
On potential. Dyer, normal. That's his level.
He can't play any better.
Davies, that's his level.
I think Davies played above his potential.
Yeah. Emerson Royale.
I don't think he's good enough to play.
He's not a left back.
Yeah.
He's not a left back.
He holds the ball, so he's playing under his potential. If he could just... He does have really good talent. If he could move the ball quick and see that's cooler to do that. The little tricks, that's not cool.
Yeah,
Get the Brazilian out of you. Move the ball quicker, you know?
Is that his level? That's his level.
I think he's better than that because I've seen him at right back.
Okay, he underperformed. Højbjerg, that's
underperformed. Højbjerg goes and plays for Denmark and has world-class performances, but in a different part of the pitch.
Yeah, he's higher up. Okay, underperformed. Papisar, I think he performed at his level.
I think he's actually got even a little bit further to go. I think if he can get
he's got bags of potential.
So he's got more to go.
Basuma underperformed.
Son
got no service.
Didn't get much.
No service. Kulu,
I think
there's more.
Could do more.
Brennan Johnson, we don't really know, I guess.
He put a chance away, but he's better than that as well.
So
I think Johnson
So
could play
Brains,
for
are we saying then that we underperformed, or players showed their true level? Because it seems like we underperformed then.
Well, I think the problem is you've got players who underperformed and you've got players who can't play any bigger. And then
The
so you're
defenders.
so you're always gonna.
So the midfield and attack underperformed, but the defensive line, look, that's what they are.
Yeah. And you ever gonna win a game that way?
No.
Do you know what I mean? What you need is like, so if our 11 come on, we lose games or we draw games because enough players underperform. This here, underperformance is okay because you had a bad day, right? But you're all quality. You had a bad day. You got a draw. You got a loss, right? Fair enough. We can't control this. We don't have enough good players on the pitch to overperform. You know, Dyer's got to overperform every game. We lost 4-1 and Dyer overperformed. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
So that's the problem. As fans, we can't expect anything more.
Listen, I got called miserable and poison because I said backhand in January.
Your mum's been a bit harsh.
Do you want to hear what your dad said? Yeah, miserable and poison because I said back Ange in January or leave you out. Because for me, this is all on the owners building a squad now for this man, right?
Yeah.
The owners get a bit of breathing space because look, it's going to take time to rebuild it. I get that.
Yeah.
But we cannot afford to go into January with this, oh, we've spent the Kane money.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have to get creative in the transfer. No. We're gonna end up below mid-table unless you go in and spend the money needed for the exact type of players this manager needs. Because if you don't, it's curtains.
But if this falls
and
off
the season becomes a write-off, and then the fans, I know what our fans are like. They will be Ange out. They will go Ange out eventually. They said they wouldn't do it to Conte, they did it to him. They'll do it to this guy as well.
If
I
the
hope,
Spurs fan base
hope
is Ange out, I'm hanging it up for a while.
I'm hanging it up for a while as well.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be anywhere near it. I can't go to the ground arguing with people about how could you possibly blame this on Ange. Like, this works in Levy's favour. If this all goes tits up and we can't act it, it seems like we'll be fighting for top 4. He loves that. Because then he's going to go, well, this isn't the time to go big on any signings. We'll just get some small little things in.
No,
you know?
they need.
If we were up at the top and it came January, he'd have to go for a big play. He'd have to, back the manager now. But that could be gone now.
Brains, I fully agree. There's no point in having this amazing stadium, all these wonderful training grounds, all this lovely hoo-ha about the club, and then we can't field a team worthy of playing, putting in a performance that can actually look like it's going to win a game of football. If you can't do that, you have defeated the object of being a top 6 football club in England. You are not a top 6 club. Stop talking like that.
Yeah.
So they have to back him.
Moving forward, we need Aston Villa to have 2 players sent off. We need them to have something bad that day.
A fire in the south stand so we can abandon the match.
Yeah. We need a hand of God right
By the way,
here.
I don't want to fire in the south stand. We've got a super chat here from Kenny Lloyd who says, at least I have a reason to get shit-faced now. Thanks, Spurs. Mate, do what you got to do.
You got to just enjoy your weekend at this point. You can't expect. Yeah. For the situation we're in, you can't expect any better.
No. Brains, it's been a pleasure.
Cheers, dude. Glad to step in for Si.
Love the 1991 FA Cup shirt as well.
This is where I came into being a Spurs
And me,
fan.
actually.
Yeah.
And me. Yeah.
So, I got to go do physio. I shouldn't have had this beer. God damn.
He's going to make drown your sorrows. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you watching. Special like, subscribe. We will be doing the fan call-in show in about, 20, 25 minutes, something like that. So hang around for that if you're a channel member. If not, become a channel member and you can call in. Otherwise, come on, you Spurs.